beautiful today.
Thank you so much.
How's everything? How's Kate Lucero doing?
Coming home to music.
How's everything? I know you've been in school for quite a bit, right?
Quite some time.
Okay.
It's not a bit.
Okay, quite some time. Yeah. So tell us about it. Tell us about how it feels like, because the school year is done, right?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me about that. How does it feel to be in college for how many? 4 years, right? More or less. And now that you have like this break, how does it feel?
I feel relieved.
Okay.
Thank God I'm done with the institution thing and the system. It's so tiring, I swear. No matter how much you want to like just try to be chill.
Okay.
You really have to do their standards and just try to pass the subjects, you know.
So you're now out of school, right? You're done with.
I'm done with the diploma thing.
The diploma thing. In case you're wondering what's happening, you're actually listening to Kate Lucero live here in 105.1 TMC on YouTube. Mayong buntag sa ito mga kaigsunan nga namina na to sa YouTube.
Wow.
Tops Media Center. Also on TikTok, Tops Media Center. Please press like and press subscribe and whatever you want. You can send us some gifts and whatever. Also on Facebook, Tops Media Center. Dakang salamat sa inyo ang pagtanaw og paminaw nato sa 105.1 TMC. Napoy a thing called the radio. You familiar with that?
Oh.
The radio.
No, I actually don't know that.
It's like a thing that they have in the car that they can they can listen to.
You literally meant the radio.
And then also those little boxes that they have in their homes.
Yes.
That's called a radio. You know, do you understand how radio works?
No, I really don't know.
I'll explain to you. Ato pong explain sa atong mga kaigsuunan nga naminaw nato karong buntaga. Okay, this is what we call a studio right here. We're in a studio. Kaning studio mo niyang naay mikropono, naay kaning mixer, naay music, di ba? Na hard drive. Kani siya gitawag na to ni siya og kaning this box here is the one that processes all of that sound. Kalimot ko si pangalan nila.
So man box.
Tago na to atong technician na. Neil. Nilo. Is Nilo here? Where's Nilo? Where's he? Nawagtang siya. I forgot what this is called. Okay, but it's called something. So here, it transmits a signal to our tower. Right? Our tower is also here at Tops. That's why the whole entire Philippines practically can hear us. That's why atong signal is better than any other radio station in Cebu, because we're at the highest point in Cebu City. Okay, so we're over 2,000 feet closer to heaven, right?
Wow.
So kung ganahan ka mga Kate, mas epektibo diri. Okay, mas duol man kita sa langit. So ang atong signal maabot sa Negro, sa Bohol, sa Ormoc, sa Dumaguete, because of our height, right? So from this gadget here to our tower, and then our tower transmits the signal to all over the Visayas and even Mindanao. So that's how a radio works. Muna siyang radio, right? So nakasabot nakagamay unsa nang radio, di ba? So mura na siya og kaning YouTube, pero ang lahi lang iyang method of transmission, di ba? Kay kanang YouTube, kanang Facebook, kanang TikTok, moagi man og internet signal, di ba? Wi-Fi, di ba? Moagi nag Wi-Fi, di ba? So kaning radio dili na siya Wi-Fi, iyahang is ikuan kay radio waves, radio waves. Oh, na siyang radio. So kibaw na ka, right? Nagsabot ka gamay, di ba?
Bitaw.
So kanang radio, pwede po ka mo interact niya. Pwede ka mo text. Matod pa nila mo text kuno, text 0999-887-6070. Mo ka na atong text number. Kung naamoy pangutana ni Kate Lucero here, just feel free to text us 0999-887-6070. Although pwede po mo message na mo sa atong Facebook page, sa atong Tops Media Center nga Facebook page, or sa atong YouTube nga Tops Media Center. Namgi ka dito. Yung title, Kate Lucero's Journey as a Singer. Kuyawag title.
Wow. Kuyawan na eh.
Kuyawan ng Ron, no? Dramatic sa kanis Ronda. Journey as a Singer.
So, wag ka nang one hit wonder kayo.
Dili one hit wonder. Good. So Kate, I'm curious ba?
Sige, go.
Kaningan, you went to school, right?
Yes.
What did you take up again? What did you take up?
BS Management.
BS Management,
Minor
right?
in Marketing.
May kay mo BS tayo nila. Grabe na kay mo BS, di ba? Grabe na kay mo BS.
Bachelor in Science. Uy, dili sa siya BS na BS. Tarong ta diri.
Tarong.
Cebuana.
Tarong o gamay. Okay, gamay lang. I'm curious ba, like, they say kuno nga ang mga skills required for this brave new world are totally and completely different, especially with the eventual arrival of general AI, di ba? Nag-ingon sila nga ang mga trabaho kuno in the future, in the near future, we're talking about 6 months to a year or even a little bit longer than that, 5 years. Wala na takibawon sa trabaho, di ba? Ang available. And some of the courses kuno that are available for us are obsolete or will become obsolete, right? Kibaw naman ta nga, daghan na kayong napulihan sa artificial intelligence, di ba? Kanang mga trabaho nga nagkinanglan og data.
Yeah.
Kanang nagtrabaho nga kinanglan og memorization.
True.
Kanang mga trabaho nga route, kaning repetitious, di ba? Mapulihan na siya og eventually og AI, di ba? Unya kaning nag-ingon sila ang skill set kuno nga kinahanglan kuno karon is no longer specialized or kaning specific. One of the biggest and most important skill sets kuno that's required of this brave new world is kaning your ability to shift resilience and your ability to learn new skills mo kuno nay bag-o kuno nga skill set nga kinahanglan ma learn sa ato ang new economy. So the schools don't teach that because the schools are teaching you to learn a specific skill set, di ba? Diba? So what are your thoughts on that, and how do you feel about the value of your graduation, of your diploma, based on what you know now? Do you think you have enough skill set or skill sets, I should say, to be able to take advantage of this brave new world?
Wow. First of all, meron siya ka ng online resume na ko na.
Mura na ka nang-apply, di ba?
Nang-apply na ko diri sa mga buhol.
Practice na ni, di ba?
Transmission sa kuan. Honestly, I beg to differ about kadang makuhaan dito tatanan with AI because we've been doing AI for like recently 2 years.
No, AI has been around for a long time. Even the calculator is a kind of AI.
Yeah, true. Pero right now, that's the thing because AI doesn't work without any human supervision.
Not yet. Oh.
Pero mo na siya ang karon na issue. Pero at the same time, yeah, it's really true. And I don't think it's really kanang karon require na you have to be resilient since before pa man.
Correct, yeah.
Dugay na dyan na kanang you have to learn, like diploma is just a diploma.
Yeah. Okay.
Kung ano dyan na siya, like imura ng kind of kanang ticket when you come to a job. Pero at the same time, not everybody's going to practice that. Like na may mga, especially mga nurses, daghan kayo were overproduced with nurses. Nadyo uban na they don't even practice it anymore. Go to business. It's more on kanang kung ano siya, adaptability, flexibility.
Yeah, that's the word that I was looking for. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. It is required to be easily to adopt, right?
Yeah.
That's always been a requirement, but more so now. In fact, there's a thing now that people do not prepare, especially big companies. They don't prepare any longer than 6 months. There's no longer a thing called an annual preparation. It's only 6 months because you don't know what's going to happen. Game-changing development will happen within 6 months, right? So what did kibaon sa trabaho nga available? For example, law. For example, I'll give you an example of law. You cannot possibly memorize all of the rulings, all of the laws and all of that stuff, but a machine can, right? A machine can. In fact, I'm sure you've already used AI to a certain extent, right?
Yes.
But eventually,
proud. Thank you, ChatGPT.
Unlike other inventions, unlike the wheel, right? Which is one of the mankind's greatest invention, unlike electricity, unlike the atomic bomb, these great inventions require people to use it, right? Either for good or for ill, right?
Yes.
So kanang ligid, kung himuan na nimo og sakyanan, maka-transport ka to yourself from one point to another. Pag himuan mo nagtangke, maka-destroy po na og kaning place that are far away, and so on and so forth, right? Pero kaning AI man good, this is the first time that an entity can think for itself, right? Unlike those other inventions. So this is the difference between the other game-changing inventions of mankind. This is an entity that can actually eventually think for itself. In fact, in a way, when you use ChatGPT, it's actually thinking for itself, right?
Yes. Do you want my opinion?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Of course, yeah.
Well, I believe na that's a good thing also in my college ba. Our chancellor, let's say, dili na lang din ako drop.
Go ahead, you can mention their names.
I think you know Chansey.
Leo Malagar?
Yes,
of course,
yes.
yeah.
Of course.
He even has a show here.
Really?
Yeah, you don't know that, right? Tambag mo Chansey. He has a show here.
Wow.
Every Wednesday and also every Saturday.
Wow. Shout out Chansey.
Yeah. In fact, his team also are here from UP to do his regular show here.
Wow. Got too busy man good with UP.
Okay.
Wala na ko kayo.
Okay.
But anyways, the good thing pod with us kay he encouraged us to acknowledge the existence of AI.
Yeah, correct.
But at the same time, not abuse it. So I believe na in everything that you've mentioned kanina, it's like the wheel and all the other inventions, it's good to put the good intentions talaga. Okay, no matter what you do, everything is going to be a bad thing if you put the wrong intentions on it.
Correct, yeah.
So at the same time, with AI, I believe for me, AI is it may kanang maragdaghan man mga practic katoy mong gingon na practices na mapulihan jud niya ang job. So it's best to think na lang na you have to see you have to look for a job na kanang you need jud kanang analyzing analytical skills that AI cannot replace. Kay no matter what, kay murag kung say mo i-prompt ka na ra man ibutang sa AI good. So at the same time kung dili sakto imong like the same with ChatGPT. Kung say mo i-prompt ka na rin po igawas. So if wrong imong prompt.
But you're talking about the basic usage of AI, right? But you can actually program AI to think for itself, right? In fact, the same algorithm, the same artificial intelligence that we're using on Facebook is actually automatic. Like, you know, di ba kabantay ka usahay ako na ban ako galit, right? and you know, like they don't even know.
Naban ka din.
Yeah, I was actually banned for actually a completely and totally obscure reason. I posted on social media. This is what I posted. Okay, I was making a prediction in the NBA basketball game. The Oklahoma City Thunder will defeat the Indiana Pacers, and I was banned for it. So muna akong basabot nga it's not a human being. The human being doesn't understand the harmlessness of my post. It was a machine. Right?
Yeah, true.
So that's an example of general AI or kanang mga advocates. What do you call them? Advocates, right? Agents. They call them agents, right? You can actually develop those right now. So imong gistoryahan ka na lang basic AI.
Bitaw.
So, but there are ways to program artificial intelligence. In fact, we should learn that already. Nga pwede na to mabiyaan.
Yeah. So ang nahitabo sa imo did you report it?
I reported it, and it's good nga nakoy amigo mi ni Tito Mark Zuck. I don't know if you know him. So eventually after a few days nakuan ra na
Kasi mo Tito Mark.
Amigo mi Tito Mark. So nakuan ra na
revive
ra ang akong Jiggy Juice account.
So mo even though di ba na program na sila na mao gyapon after imong after sales or kanay mo after service kay need gyapon nag human ano man.
Yeah.
So ang ni open up ay ni revive ra pud ang kanan understand imong post kay tao ra gyapon.
Mo lagi pero they're still there because you know kung ato paning gi compare sa development of a person napata sa embryo stage kaning AI, but you know, we don't know how an infant of AI looks like. You don't know what an adolescent's AI will look like, right? And the way that we develop our technology now is no longer by small increments; it's by leaps and bounds, diba? So there are certain things now we're nonchalant about. We don't really think this is going to happen, but you know, if you think about it, people already are talking about it like it's a kind of a existential threat, but to humanity. But because the problem with us, with Homo sapiens is kaning tanaw ra gud ta. We've had 3 world wars, right? Three. World War One and two. Sorry, two.
Padong pa na.
Two pa two. World War One, World War Two, and many other wars. Now we have an ongoing war with Ukraine and Russia. War with the United States, Israel, and Iran, and there's also skirmishes in India and Pakistan and all of that stuff, right? So look at us. We never learn. Our tendencies for ill are so predictable, right?
True.
So we are predictably irrational. So kaning AI, we all know that this is going to be used for good and evil.
Yeah.
There will always be good and bad players, right? So
true.
Mo na siya ang kumusabot nga ang direction na niya, we don't know where this is going.
Yeah.
And this has also affected music, the arts, right? I know nga I interviewed I don't know if you heard that interview. Na magugoy kantang gipatokan ni Jean Govinda ba nga. Na ini accuse niya og AI man ang kantaha.
Mo ba?
Oo, na ini accuse niya AI nang kanta. So I interviewed him and all of that stuff. Did you ka makabaw? Did you ka makasakop? Did you ka makadungog? Kung kaning ordinary listener lang ka ba nga AI ni nga kantaha. In fact, I'll try to play it later on.
Okay.
For you, di ka kabaw nga AI na siya kantaha kay mura man yung tawag yun nagkanta gid ba?
Lagi.
So akong pangutana ani siguro for you is how do you think it'll affect the arts? How will it affect your industry, which is the music industry? Kate Lucero, go.
I think affected should be bitaw. Like I think I already know some people who do AI man jud when it comes to their music also, especially if like more on main vocals lang jud siya or like need og lyrics or something like that, like the program thing, program ra kay mapulihan jud. But somehow it's nice to acknowledge that it's also a type of art.
Okay.
Because no matter what na AI ba na niya, kay at the same time naman gyapon na siya kanang pag-check niya na bagay ba angay ba sa iya, is that a good as an artist? Marag, somehow as in the music industry, I would really just like generalize it as into art industry ba until even right now na. Even I'm also like an intern in an art gallery in Hoya.
Yeah, okay.
So there's a lot of exhibits now na more on AI na ilahang mga exhibits. Like more on QR codes and everything like that. Same thing with music, I swear. So I believe na if they put it in the music industry, of course, it's good to acknowledge that it can be an art, but at the same time, if you're using it to bad use, of course, nadyo mawala ng mga jobs like producing. Yeah. Kanang kuan, you know, daghan mo good, especially producing, songwriting.
Okay.
This is where the money comes from if you make a song. Dira dyan na gawa, dira dyan na murag dako ba, ang splits.
Okay.
So if gamiton to bad use, mawadan dyan nagtrabaho.
Yeah. So do you think a song made with AI or with the assistance of AI or any art form for that matter with the assistance of AI or completely with AI is less valuable compared to an artwork made by a human being?
Good question. Made me think actually. Pero yeah, I don't think so. I think they're the same of value for me.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, it's still the artist who would decide if it really resonates with them. Okay. So it's more on how the artist perceives it. Okay. If he thinks na kanang nindot siya na nandiyan ay value for him. Pero I cannot compare gani because art is art. So for me, kay kung unsa kong art bisag bati pa na, I would appreciate it. Same sa it's like depends on the perspective of the artist. Yeah. For me.
This depends or the perspective of the public siguro. Because diba an artwork is just a story, right? That we all agree, right? Like this is the most beautiful painting in the world, the Mona Lisa, right? And the value of it depends on the people agreeing to the story, the narrative of the artwork, right? If this is the actual artwork painted by this particular person, and we all know that, so the value does not reside in the artwork itself. It resides in the story of the thing, right? Like pareha ko nagkwarta ko, di ba? A piece of paper has no intrinsic value, right? I mean, like, why can you buy like a car with a bunch of piece of paper, right? Let alone a bunch of numbers in the phone, right? In the bank. So because we all know the value of the paper can also buy, let's say, food, right? Or whatever you want to buy with it. So that's a universal a story, the story of money, and also the story of art. It's also just a story. So kung usa ka artwork gihimo og usa ka tawo nga naay history, you know this person, he suffered through a lot, and all of that stuff, versus a machine that maybe you can create a story of the machine, right? But you think there's no difference, like a person, like a Van Gogh, the life story of Van Gogh, and so on and so forth, right? And a machine that also has his own story, if you like. They're just as valuable, you think?
Yeah. That's a good food for thought.
Okay.
But the good thing for me, like when it comes to art, it's infinite. So no matter what lang man kung karon pa ka ni-release, ma-appreciate paguro na in the near future. That's gonna happen. Like same thing with the paintings, di ba? Wala man nag-appreciate si Van Gogh sa una, pero karon na siya na-appreciate.
Correct, yeah.
So mausa na, maybe the public eye right now, di sila ka-appreciate sa AI music. Pero maybe in the near future, ang kana na market, mas maka-appreciate sad sila. Same thing, mao bitaw na mo sigig adjust ang genres, manana po'y mahimo na genre, sub-genres na sad. Because that's the thing with art. There's always new to it. And maybe you cannot be appreciated now, but there will be people who would appreciate it maybe in the future, or maybe like a very small That's the good thing with art compared to other kinds of industries, because everything is a form of art, and everybody has their subject to their own opinion, pero at the same time mao nang dili jud ka magpada kung mag-produce kag art kay kung ma-affected ka sa public, you're gonna stop.
So you're saying eventually in time people will appreciate art created by AI. Eventually they will appreciate it like an artwork made by a human being.
At more jud ka ng adaptability, balik na sa ni adaptability, na balik na pud taning we will never learn kay no matter what, makabantay man jud ka na cycle. Like night times na karon, we would appreciate na AI, but in the near future sad mo appreciate na pud ta about human.
So you don't think
really human skill.
You don't think that somebody should no, you're padung naman ka og mag-lawyer ka, di ba? So you don't think that we should create boundaries and laws about what AI can do? For example,
I think
mga balaod, especially the Europeans, are actually in many ways more advanced with the legal guardrails of AI compared to other parts of the world, right? So do you think, for example, nga kung ang usa ka butang gihimo og AI, dili siya mabaligya, for example, mao na ilang gipang buhat ito. Dili siya mabaligya. For example, a song that's made by AI, you can't make money off of it online, for example, right? Or an image made by AI, right? You cannot sell it or whatever. So nasa lang mga rules like that ba? So do you think we should leave AI as it is, and then let's just see what happens. Let's just see what happens to the world of art and music. Let's see what happens. Or do you think as early as now we should already create like the guardrails so that we won't be replaced?
Yeah, thank you for navigating me on that. But yeah, we should. As soon as possible, we have to put those boundaries now, because too much of something is a bad thing, of course.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, it's good to acknowledge that AI is happening, but at the same time, it's also we have to be ethical at the same time to do that. Nadre boundaries, of course. Like, basin sobraan na pud ang AI na wala na human kuan ba.
Yeah.
So of course butangan dyan na, because it's so unfair to have those kinds of splits niya, dili di ikaw nagbuhat. So most na need you boundary sad ana. If like maybe same said with when you do papers, we do a lot of research papers.
Correct, yeah.
So when we do research papers na naman jud karoy mga Turnitin. So at the same time we're gapuna for
what did you say? Turnitin, what's that?
Turnitin. It's actually an application. So if ibut naman ay kuan na may threshold ang AI. So at least 8%. So if musaka pag 8%, that's not a good research paper anymore.
Okay.
So same thing.
What do you mean by 8%?
8% ang Turnitin mo detect nag AI. So if kung more on AI siya, naman ay threshold for until 8% rakotob imong AI.
Okay.
So if musubra ka na, dili na kanang kuan na dili na pwede. That's not considered as a
that's an
research paper.
instrument that used by the school?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what we do because we are also encouraged to do AI.
Okay.
But at the same time, we shouldn't. It's supposed to be a support, not the main. So same thing with music siguro. Like let's there should be kanang a certain threshold, kanang certain application to recognize those kinds of AI detections and at the same time have those kinds of certain thresholds. Yeah, muna.
Diba,
Di maka-release.
If you notice all of the inventions that we talked about earlier, the wheel, electricity, and all of that stuff, they're really meant to make life easier, right?
True.
And whether you like it or not, whether you admit it or not, we're actually a pretty lazy species also, di ba?
Yes.
Tapulan mo gining homosapien, di ba?
Mga ngita ta pero mi.
Mangita gito usay mas sayon ba, di ba? Mo nang AI ni work na siya, di ba? And all the other great inventions of our kind.
Yeah.
So kaning AI ba, do you think nga mas masamot tapulan, mas tapulan na hinunta?
Of course.
Because it's so easy to do this and do that.
Yeah, of course. If you've noticed na, let's say, fast food alone, gani. Kay mas kuan nun ta karon, it's easier, it's accessible.
Yeah.
It's the accessibility that makes us lazier.
And unhealthy also, di ba?
Yes, unhealthy. So, unsay nitabo more on mas daghanan noon kay tag mga
processed food, di ba?
Processed food, which is affecting our health. So, same things with AI na it makes us lazy. Honestly, I experienced AI before I graduated. Makaingon jud ko compared to me before na mag-search jud ko og kanang mga links og URL. Karon kay it's in a snap. So, of course, I acknowledge it. It made me lazy. Pero mo na siya kanang malazy jud ang tao. Dili jud na kanang nanaputay invent in the near future that makes us lazier. More ako rin yung ma-envision maybe the one in Wall-E nang naghigda na
So it seems like you even are able to see what's going to happen, right?
Of course.
But we still do it, right?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? And this is already a philosophical question. Why do you think we still do the thing that we're not supposed to do? Why do we insist on doing the thing that is not helpful to us? We know that it has initial advantage, initial benefit, right? But we know in the long haul, it's a bad thing for us. Why is that? Why do we do the thing that's not good for us? Because of its future repercussions, right? And we all know the benefits are just temporary. Why is that? Ano ka na? Tapulan lang siguro ta?
No, I think lang jud. I think we have to go back to the fact na we're the only species that thinks. And we have this kind of curiosity. No matter what, kay nagyapuntay huna-huna na what if I do this?
Okay.
This critical thinking ba?
Okay.
I blame it on critical thinking.
No, but
at the same time,
if you're critical, then you wouldn't do it.
Na medyo critical na bugog yun. Or jud siya.
Critical nga ano man? Makapangutana man to sa isa.
What happened, Bella?
Makapangutana ta, diba? What happened, right?
Wow, what happened, Bella?
I know, right? So we don't know. In other words, we don't know what we don't know, right? We don't know what we don't know. We
always have that kind of what if.
Yeah, what if, and we still do what.
And we don't learn from experiences, gyapon.
Because we have short-term benefits, right? And to the detriment of our future selves, right? We don't think about that because who knows what's going to happen in the future.
True.
We may not be there in the future, you know. And right now, of course, you just made a brand new song, right? And was it in any shape, way, or form assisted
AI?
by AI?
No.
Okay.
Wala dyan to.
Why didn't you use AI?
Wala. I think I have the talent. Charot.
Okay.
Is it normal to say that?
Okay. So come on, say it.
I have the talent.
You have the talent.
Makancel na ko.
Ano makancel mo ka?
Dali.
Ano makancel mo ka to say that you have the talent? What does that mean, man? Ano makancel man si Kate Lucero? Mga kaigalan, kung nahibong mo kasi hindi paminaw, you're listening to Kate Lucero. She's actually got a brand new song out. She's also performing in Fête de la Musique Festival. That's happening very soon. Stay tuned for that and more information about that. She actually has a song already that's constantly in our playlist called Escapade.
Yeah.
It's actually a sort of what do you call that? It's not a sampling, right? Is it a sampling of a song from Mino J?
My Boo? My Boo ba to?
My Boo.
And I think.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, it's My Boo. Yeah. So it's sample na siya, right?
Yeah, sampling.
So tell us about that song.
Escapade.
Escapade, yeah. This was done like a few years ago, right?
Few years ago. And actually
how many years ago?
Few years. 2023?
2023.
2023.
So how do you feel about that song now in 2025? Looking at that particular part of you, because I know a lot of things have happened since then, right?
Yeah, alter ego dito na song but it was really fun to write that because if you've usually listened to my kind of music, I'm one of the tawag na diba, like more on calming songs, because that's really how I feel like my voice works. So when it comes to Escapade, for me, that's for party. So I didn't know if my voice is really going to be good with that.
Okay.
So are we playing it? Like, or do we have?
No, let's just talk over it. Because see, this is what I mean. The algorithm is watching us.
Yeah.
And if we're going to play it completely, we're going to have to end this interview. That's what I mean. This is an example, a demonstration to you and me that there's an entity out there
listening
to us with no person.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So this is an example of that. We cannot play your song in its entirety, because if we did, then we'll be taken down.
True.
Yeah. So anyway, so that song is called Escapade, and that was done 3 years ago. Did you have other songs aside from that, or that's your only song?
No, I have Sunsets. I have Point Zero.
Okay.
I recently is Come Home.
Okay.
And
so those two other songs.
Sunsets, Point Zero.
When did you release them?
My first release was 2020.
How come I don't have a copy of that? You gotta
I'll send you the copy.
Shame on you.
I think I sent you Point Zero. You didn't say Point Zero.
And let's look for that. Okay, so this song, why did it take so long for you to make this next new song? Yeah.
Oh, Come Home.
Come Home, yeah.
Actually, I wrote that 2023 as of late 2023.
Okay.
And that was because this was inspired because that was a time na nisikat tong LDR by Shotty ba?
Okay.
I was like, hala, cool lagi kayo ng transitioning na English to Bisaya, and I never wrote one.
Okay.
Competitive side siguro.
Okay.
I wrote that song, and at that time I was really busy with school. So what inspired it at the same time was also I was really tired, and the song is called Come Home.
Okay.
So I wanted to write the song, and then I was imagining it must be nice after a long day of work coming home to your favorite person and you're pahinga.
You're pahinga. Yeah. So naghisgot ka nga nalingaw ka nga na-transition from English to Bisaya, diba? Tell me about that. Kaya ikaw, bista ka man ka, diba? Taga Cebu ba ka, dili?
Oh, Cebu.
Born and raised ka in Cebu?
Born and raised.
So, why did you find that interesting?
When it akatong shout out to Shotty na nagkaroon ng part. It was really seamless for me, and that's what I felt like. It was so unique and it was so catchy because we didn't expect that in the song na kanang oy na din Bisaya. And it was like catchy ay kanang murag kanang how do you say that?
Why would you say it's unique when in fact bago lang ta nag-transition seamlessly pang Binisaya o in English, but that's actually the way we speak, right?
Yeah, that's
Kadaghanan sa mga Cebuano, di ba? Mukalit lang og in English, di ba? Kalag Binisaya, di ba? So that's actually the way most of us speak, right? So why would it be unique to you listening to it in a song by Shoti? Why did you feel that it was unique? No, that's what everybody does, at least within the city, right?
No, hard to accept. As an artist, good. Nandiyo kay standards.
Okay.
So somehow there are times na mo right ka and then nakay ibutang dira, let's say Bisaya.
Okay.
And sometimes work for you kay real ako marag dili man. Di man siya ka na marag con for other people eh. So maybe you have to take it out. English na lang kabalik. And then when it comes to
what do you mean by that? By
standards, I blame standards.
Kuan sa other people. What do you mean? Can you expound on that?
I mean, at the same time,
they will not like it. You mean?
Yeah, they will not.
Nga naman,
like
nga di mas laganahan. Nga kinabagaan sa atong mga kaigsuunan diri sa syudad sa Subo magbinisaya man ta. Nganong tan-aw mo dili man sila ganahan og binisaya. Nga naman nga that's our language, right? You have to understand that that's who we are as a people. Why would you be scared or
conscious
of binisaya in your writing when in fact a majority of your people are Bisaya speakers and can understand clearly bisdak nganong hadlok man ka nganong murag apprehensive man ka? Where does that come from? When you say standards, what do you mean? Is it a bad thing to write in Binisaya?
No, it's a good thing. It's really unique to make a song kanang you have to put it, you're having a song base alone, having an art alone, putting it out there, it's going to be forever, diba?
Yeah.
So sometimes when you make music or when you make art lang generally nabaya kay mga art na magmahay ko na nagmahay ko mo release ay nagmahay ko putting it out there inanay mo ma-feel it's on your head. Basically sa imuha na ay let's say katong imong gias na ko ganina na how do you feel now about Escapade? For me, I'm still proud of Escapade. Pero maybe na yung mga kato na times before I grew when it comes to me writing. Kay for me kay ko na di pa nako okay to transition to that. It's more on a me branding as an artist and how I feel like is it going to make is this kind of branding going to be a long term for me? Kanang would it still align to me in the near future? So more on it's a me standard ba niya. At the same time, ako man sad as an artist kay I don't like na put out kog song niya. For me, dili catchy. If makabantayan mo na ko yung song, balik-balik ko na lyrics. So, muna, kay kato na time when I was trying to make Bisaya in my songs, kay min ko na basin dili ni siya. Patok. Inana. So namang gyapon kay head ana good na basin dili ni nindot sa masa.
So you're scared of creating something that you would not be proud of.
Yes.
But
more on that.
But isn't it almost 100% guaranteed and assured that we are always an embarrassment to our future selves, right? It's almost like a guarantee, right? Because you didn't know any better. We're all victims. This is one of my favorite lines. We are all victims of the ignorance of our time.
Yes.
We always do not know any better because right now you and me, on this beautiful June 24, 2025. This is the best that we knew about the world, right? And this is the best that we understood about the world. So tomorrow we're going to be slightly better than who we were today, and telescope 2 years from now, this conversation is going to be embarrassing.
Yeah,
trust me, it will be.
It will be really.
Yeah. So
okay.
Why would you think about your future self when your future self did not or will not know any better?
I think I also want to put how I developed kanang kaingon ko when we had that phase na we were people pleasers, I swear.
Okay.
So I think
we still are actually people
pleaser. We still are, but lesser na karon we're trying to
not lesser, more subtle.
Oh, more subtle.
More subtle. Still people pleaser.
Still people
because
pleaser.
This is so human to want to belong, to be liked, right?
Yes.
Ang ato ang kaning stilo na to kanang medyo subtle nang, but it's still
social beings
it's still People pleasing. Look at us now, man.
Yeah,
got proper ug storya, di ba? Kaning trying to use the right words, di ba? Ang tingog ganing paninduto na to gamay, di ba? I-modulate, di ba? We're still trying to please, right?
True.
Right? And that'll never be taken away from us. That's really who we are.
But yeah, parang I think we also have to know na we've grown. Less na tanan naman tayo mga gipang butang na boundaries and walls, and at the same time it's also to how do you call that, to shield us siguro, I don't know the right word, basta like mas karon it's okay to ay kanang we're embarrassing to the right people that we chose to give access to, compared to before na every kind of function we have to be there, we're still looking for who we are, compared to now.
Isn't that a lifelong journey though?
It is a lifelong journey, but compared to before,
and that never ends.
Yes,
a lifelong journey that never ends.
We still learn, we still grow all the time.
They're looking for the self.
The self, yeah, that's the purpose.
That never ends, diba?
Yeah,
there'll never come a time for me lang ha. This is just a personal opinion. That doesn't end, man. That looking for the self doesn't end.
I mean, until now, I am. It's just that for me, karon number, meron ako gipang filter out.
Yeah.
And
because the world happens to us, right?
Yes. Yeah. That's my point. Na kanang the same time sa una for me I was really conscious, right? Releasing my music first time gusto na ako mag-release niya. What if the may ina gani. Pero karon I already have that mindset na I'm gonna release it anyway.
No matter what.
I'm gonna let my kids listen to it no matter what in the future. Bala na sila if they like it or not. But I had that kind of growth. It's also somehow accepting of the self first. Now, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to be accepted, or you're not going to please everyone. So it had a learning journey too. To think na subtle na lang imuhang people pleasing, diba?
So it's not so blatant anymore.
Not so blatant.
Murag matago-tago na nanay gamay nga murag kaning shield, diba? Like you said. Where do you think you learned that? I mean, like, where do you think you learned to be more subtle? Like, where do you think you have become less of a people pleaser? Do you think you learned that in school? Do you think you learned that from your parents, from home?
A lot.
Asa man na
experiences.
Can you attribute it to like one thing, like
ang pagiging subtle?
less of a people pleaser, right?
Yeah. I think more on friendships, relationships, ata. Like you actually have that kind of maybe high school siguro. High school, I think there amajud ka gara jud kay kamo makig friends sa tanan ba.
Yeah.
Bisag parani mo na marag di mo ko ganahan na niya pero sige lang. Because you're trying to recognize what you like pasad at the same time. So when it comes to that, dagan ba people come and go. So marag maybe there are times, maybe for me high school, there are times na you cherished a lot of people niya humana na kay di man jud magdugay ang uban.
What do you mean?
Kanang kuan jud dili, it doesn't align with you. Their traits or maybe their goals, and it's normal to have a fallout. Mo na kay at the same time kay I think it's more on that na I've invested and mo dili pang long term. So for me, I still acknowledge them. It's just that at the end of the day, for me, I want to put my energy where it's reciprocated.
Really?
Yeah.
Where it's reciprocated.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're still a people pleaser then?
I am.
Yeah.
Nakaingon ko, pero subtle na lang.
Yeah.
I have to emphasize the subtle part mo.
Okay. Our time now, it is 10:15, 45 more to go before 11 o'clock. You're listening to Kate Lucero.
Yeah.
Live in the studios of 105.1 TMC. You're performing live at a Fête de la Musique Festival or something like that. Some French highfalutin event. Tell me about it. What is it called, first of all? Did I say it correctly?
I think so. I also don't know.
Okay. So
I trust you more on that part.
Okay. So kano sa man siya, asa man siya?
June 28th, Saturday, guys.
Okay. Where?
In Atua Midtown. Katong near Redemptorist Church pa.
Okay.
The one katong artsy place now.
Oh yeah. I think it's formerly Eddie's Hotel, right?
Yes.
It's still there, right? The hotel is still there, I think. Or no more na?
Wala ko sure
It's
na.
just a restaurant.
Yeah, the
I
Luna
love that restaurant.
Luna Gazette?
Yeah,
Or the other
the
one?
restaurant in Eddie's Hotel.
Oh, yeah.
They serve the best in Unan there.
Really?
And I bring my mom and dad there all the time, right? Anyway, so it's there. The event is there. It's not in Ayala, di ay?
No, I think last week ang Ayala. Kay ilahang plano is like 2 Saturdays.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to be performing there.
Yes, I'll be
you'll
performing
be
there.
performing alongside who?
A lot. Julia Q, Icy, DJ Pangita Buji,
Pangita
Sophia.
Buji, okay.
Pangita, she's cool.
Okay.
I swear to God, she's the best DJ for me.
Okay.
Actually, I performed in an all-girl event by Reverb. It's called Blush. I think you were there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and she was the DJ.
Okay.
And I love all Reverb DJs, especially DJ Kaiser. We love you.
Okay.
But DJ Pangita Buji has this aura.
Pangita Buji.
Yeah. Coolest girl.
I just love saying it, Pangita Buji.
Yeah.
And
Mas cool
is this like a free event?
Free. That's why go, guys. Free admission.
It's that place just a few meters away from Redemptorist Church. It's in that place where Eddie's Hotel used to be. I think it's still there, but
and
only only the restaurant, right?
Yeah.
It still exists.
Beside Pure Gold.
Pure Gold, the grocery, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So you're excited to perform. Is this your first time to perform in a long time now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
how's that different from performing in front of a microphone in a studio and performing in front of the microphone in a crowd? Like, how does it feel? Does it feel better? Does it feel worse? Does it bring out the best in you or the worst of you?
Worse than me. I don't my MBTI is INFJ.
Okay.
Introvert.
Okay.
So of course with the crowd I have a social angst na talaga.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's why when it comes to me performing, I prefer I see people that I don't know more than the people I know.
Okay.
Because I rather
Mahadlok ako na
mahadlok
kayo na imong parents, for example, right?
syempre samot na sila.
That's
Ay, kung taga na ta mag-pictures mo.
correct, yeah.
Inana lang siya.
because you can see a face and a voice, right? When you see somebody that you know exactly how they're going to react. Right? In your head, you're imagining, sus, na po ni si si Kate, ni acting na po si Kate, ikid na po si Kate, kanta na po si Kate, right? So how would you feel about performing this Saturday at Atua
Midtown. 50-50 gihapon because I don't know what I'm gonna do too.
Okay.
It's like for me sad ko kay baon maunsa kong anxiety.
Okay.
Kanang social angst na ko ba?
Okay.
Pero I believe naman jud ko alter ego every time I'm in the stage.
Okay.
So magpamaymay sad ko didto.
Magpamaymay ka.
Yeah, murag dili na jud siya kanang di siya Kate ba? Kate
Okay.
Lucero jud siya murag lahi jud siya na kind of
Okay.
character.
Okay.
So
but I think something like that, performing in front of a crowd, is an offshoot of experience, right? I mean, like you always get better. You always get better at
Of
things that you do
course.
more and more, right?
But the thrill, I still long for the thrill.
Yeah.
Even if I'm an introvert, I long for that stimulus.
Yeah.
I long for that thrill. Na kanang, what would I do?
Yeah.
Because no matter what you do, you're still gonna perform. So, kana pod, murag, I'm also like curious and excited what I'm gonna do.
Okay. So that's in front of a crowd, right? But
Yeah.
that's actually also in many ways the same thing that happens on social media, right? In a way, it's a part of social media is performative, right? So in a way, you're also actually performing to a group of people.
Yeah.
So do you use that, or not as much as most people
Do I use social media
to perform?
to perform? I actually, before I started releasing music, I
Mm.
was releasing covers in YouTube
Okay.
and in Facebook.
Okay. Did you stop doing it?
I stopped doing it
Because of school or because of other reasons?
because of other reasons, but at the same time, I'm also like trying to prioritize my songs.
Okay.
But
You could still sing your songs.
I do covers from time to time.
Online?
Yeah, because I live and breathe there. I started from there. People
Okay.
knew me
Yeah.
because of that.
Yeah, because I would imagine you mentioned being an introvert would be at home online,
Yeah,
right?
I would.
Yeah.
Even if when I'm trying to make songs and then I record my first drafts, it would be in my home studio.
Okay. Before I let you go, Kate,
Yeah.
I'd like to ask you this question.
Yes.
Why are you? Where does the angst come from? Like, have you why is it scary for you to perform in front of a crowd? Why are you anxious when you perform in front of a crowd, because I told everybody this. I even told your friend, our common friend Trev and Cody and the rest. It took me 10 years to be comfortable on stage, because I'm always on stage in front of thousands of people hosting, right? I'm not a singer. I'm just a host.
Yeah, but still,
you know, and I still get butterflies.
True.
Decades after, right? And that's a good thing, because that means you still care to do well.
Yes.
The butterflies in your stomach are there for a reason, and the reason for that is actually your body telling you you should do your best. Try to do your best and try to do well. So how about you? Where does the anxiety come from?
I think the same with what you've said. Now there's this ability that you can do your best.
Okay.
The butterflies and everything. It's not. I don't think it's a. I really acknowledge that it's not a bad thing.
Okay.
The fact that you still care to give your best and to do the best quality that you can give. That for me it's a good thing. Like especially for me, kung grabe na kaya ko ang kanang kulba. For me, I would do good.
What was that?
I would do good.
Okay, so you're not paralyzed.
Kung kalma ko, magdira ko magregor.
You're not paralyzed by it, right?
No, not. You shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Because that's stopping you.
Okay.
For me, like acknowledgement is the key.
Yeah.
So if like kana na kay problema na, like acknowledge na kay problema na and do something about it.
Okay. So that's what you're gonna be doing this Saturday at Amua.
Yeah, Atua.
Atua de dili de Amua de.
Mana like at the same time so the reason sad ganong release na dagan ba kog song sa vault, dagan ko kan release.
Okay.
But I chose Come Home because somehow bisag kato kong reasoning kanina. For me it resonated with me when it comes to the title lang alone gani.
Okay.
Coming home to music jud siya. Like after the diploma thing.
Oh, Gion says hi and congrats kuno.
Wow! Hi, G! Thanks, G!
Listening to us right now. Daghang salamat sa imong
so
pagpaminaw, G, and all of our friends are watching us on TikTok. Si Ana Kimchi, si Recommander, si South Vibes Music, si Nick's Vitality, si Ways of John, number 1. Daghang salamat. And everybody on TikTok right now, daghang salamat sa YouTubers and also our Facebook viewers and our radio listeners. You were listening to Kate Lucero. Live on 105.1 TMC. Okay, before I play the song "Come Home,"
yes,
set this up. What do you mean exactly by "Come Home"? And what is your idea
of home?
Of home? What is home to you? Because I remember there's a song, one of my favorite songs from I think it was Paul Young. He said something like, a home is where I put my hat on, you know, like home is not a fixed place, right?
Yes.
It is a place full of love. It could be the place that you were born. It could be somewhere foreign. It could be anywhere. What is your idea of home?
Generally or with the song?
Generally and specifically. Both ways.
Both ways.
Yeah, well,
generally,
what is home to you?
Home is where you feel safe.
Okay.
Where you feel like you can be your most vulnerable.
Okay.
And where you can be who you are without any judgment.
Okay.
That for me is home. And when it comes to the song, home is a person.
Okay.
It's really more on like being an adult, having your own thing, working, doing, achieving your life goals and all that.
Okay.
But it's so good that after a long day, you would come home to your favorite person. Come home and feel the rest. Come home na.
So home to you is a person? It's not
that song.
Is no, but generally speaking, is that
generally speaking
is it a physical place or is it just an ideal home?
What do you mean ideal home?
No, is it an ideal? Is home to you
idea?
An ideal? It's like a
standard.
A kind of paradise for you, like a kind of concept. It's a concept that you long to be in or you are in. It's not a physical.
No, there's no physical home
place.
Yeah, there's no physical place. Like honestly, like anything or anyone can be described as a home.
Okay.
That's why generally when I said it, Nina, it's where you feel safe, where you feel vulnerable, where you feel like you can be who you are without anything in your head. Like you can literally shut your brain off and you're still gonna be okay.
That's home.
That's home for me. What's your idea of home?
Home. This is the home of
local music,
right?
Yes,
right?
TMC.
Where you can be who you are, right? You can talk about whatever you want.
Yeah. That's so. This is
Mona atong slogan is 105.1 TMC, the most Cebu conversations.
Yes.
The most Cebu events. And the most Cebu music. And I'm glad that you came home to 105.1 TMC, Kate. Here she is now with her song, Come Home. This is a personal song about her concept of what being safe is in the comforts of her own home.